bill named S420 is being introduced to the Senate. What's that all about? And will that help legalize cannabis in 60 days? After smoking, when should you drive again? Canadian survey says. And what would Jesus do? Do. All on today's News Roach. So when should you drive after smoking weed? Well, a 2017 Canadian survey of 3,600 individuals asked just that question. They asked up to check up on their weed habits, but also more importantly, about stone driving. They were covering about 70 questions for these individuals, and the results were pretty interesting. Almost 80% of cannabis users said that they have been driving within 2 hours of consuming THC. As of right now, there is no accurate way of measuring THC contents in your system, but there is a few new products out there, and I covered some of those here on the News Roach. In Canada, a proposal is to measure the THC nanograms in your body. Alcohol can be measured in our blood or saliva. THC, not so much. THC likes to say in our fatty tissues, like some people's fattiest part, their brain. Not a joke. THC leaves our bloodstream much more rapidly than alcohol, which makes it harder to test. When is it safe to drive after ingesting cannabis? 35% said, depends. And 23% said, I don't know. So we all, of course, react differently to cannabis, but like the old saying goes, when in doubt, do without. Was Jesus a little kind of a stoner? Well, new research seems to indicate that. According to researcher Chris Bennett, he thinks that people before Jesus were even hotboxing, including Moses. Yes, that would explain the 40 years lost in the desert, wouldn't it? And, I mean, favorite pastime back then was to get stoned, wasn't it? Okay, enough. That's enough. Cannabis and religion goes hand in hand throughout our human history. Jesus, among others, were known for using different kinds of oils and herbs to cure and treat different pains and aches back then. One ingredient in Jesus' anointing oils was something called Cannabis. Yeah, I butchered that because I wasn't alive back then. I don't know. Loosely translated from Yiddish, you get the word cannabis, and or the other way around. But don't quote me on that because I did translate a couple different times, different spellings, and I got different things every single time. So why don't you try it and let me know? Anyway, the Bible is littered with weed references and stories about anointed oils and the healing properties. But I don't know. What do you think? Was this the second coming of Jesus then? And our last story is about a new bill, the Marijuana Revenue and Regulations Act, which was just introduced to the Senate by a representative out of Oregon, a Democrat, and it will legalize cannabis within 60 days. It, among other things, allows cannabis businesses to operate and be taxed just like alcohol businesses are being right now. And banks will be able to handle the transactions just like any other businesses would. Other fun things in the bill addresses the devastating impact the war on drugs has had. So the S420 bill helps to expunge some previous cannabis convictions. Yay! We covered some of that stuff here on the News Roach earlier. More fun. Military veterans will get access to medical cannabis, and Native Indians will be granted protections under the new federal cannabis laws. This is the third bill introduced with a similar name, 420, challenging our federal ban on cannabis. So please stay tuned here for my news break. I'll fix it a little bit. And that's it for this episode of the News Roach. If you like this little episode and like to see more, please subscribe, like, and or comment below. And do please remember that you can have healthcare without THC. Thank you again for watching the News Roach.